I have something for you. How would you feel if I told you that I've created a guide that will help you promote your business over and over again on your social platform, only to see followers convert to buying clients? Great, right? Well, this starts with building a personal brand through social. By giving yourself that power, you'll be able to enjoy sharing all of your expertise, selling your service, and as a result, have the funds that will empower you to plan for more for your business. That is the power of a personal brand, my friend. So I've created this free quick start guide to help you plan and build your online presence, personal brand through social. In this guide, you'll go through a list of 10 strategies that can take you from not knowing where to start to creating a plan that will build your image and brand through the social media. All you have to do to get your hands on this free guide is click on the link that I'm sharing in the show notes and you'll be able to download it. And don't forget, once you go through the guide, come back, send me a comment on the website or maybe DM me on Instagram. I'd love to know what you think. Don't forget, the link will be in the show notes. Get your hands on this free guide now. Let's start today's show. Welcome to Let's Make Waves podcast. I'm Rana Al-Basri Mawad, and I believe that we're all here to make waves. I created this podcast to help you unlock your potential by sharing with you tools, resources, and strategies to help you build and grow your business. So if you're looking to build your brand, gain that confidence and knowledge, content and marketing strategies, find your professional voice, attract those raving customers, and create the professional authority for better business opportunities, then you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Hi, everybody. Thanks again for joining me today and to another episode of my podcast. I'm really happy that you're here. When I was still working full-time in my corporate job, every single time I heard the statement entrepreneurial mindset, I felt like this is something for a special breed of people. Don't ask me why, but that particular statement just scared me. It just felt unattainable, like something really hard to get. It's super complex and somehow exclusive to certain kind of individuals. And I just felt that you either had it or you don't. I was completely wrong. So in my journey, there were things that I only learned through trial and error. Today, I just wish I had the right coach at the time to save me time and energy. Anyhow, building a mindset that served me and empowered me to think about what I'm trying to build in my business was one of them. I had to learn it through trial and error. And as a result, I had to start prioritizing my personal growth. It became on the top of my list and I started to consciously work on it. And to be completely honest, I still do till this day. Because when you're building a way of thinking, it's like, and I'm sure you've heard this before, it's like building a muscle. So it needs nourishment and it needs continuous exercise. And so what worked for me to nourish that muscle is that it started with a decision. I decided to start and I just started to consciously work on it. I still do. I started to pick up the right types of books, the right business book that added value for me. I started to ask a lot. I ask people who have successful businesses the kind of questions that I needed help in. And I also started to connect with mentors and to surround myself with people who have the same vision that I had. And for the exercise part of that muscle, what I did is that I also consciously started to apply what I've learned. I became very deliberate in my actions, in my plans, in my services. And this is what it all boils down to in a business, the mindset. Because the mindset plays a huge role in the way that we decide to create a business, the way we work on our business, act and handle those challenges in our business, which we'll definitely face as business owners. So this episode is about building that kind of mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset. And I really believe that for us to build something, we really need to understand what it really means. So, in basic terms, an entrepreneurial mindset is a way of thinking. And this way of thinking can help you and can enable you to be decisive, to overcome challenges, to constantly work on improving your skills, to learn from your mistake and take action on those ideas that you have. and most importantly, to accept responsibility of your outcomes. The fact of the matter is that not all business owners have this mindset. Some of us dream of creating something on our own, and some of us know exactly how does that creation look like. Some of us don't. So there are so many reasons to why starting a business is really exciting and interesting, and for the right reasons most of the time. But what I've learned firsthand is that it takes more than the service and more than the product and the setup and the business plan and all of those details to really build a business. The mindset helps in looking at situations from a different angle. It helps in being solution-oriented, pivoting, changing, reassessing whenever it's necessary. It makes us open to learning new skills that will be very beneficial to our business journey. Michael Hyatt once said that business success is 20% effort and 80% mindset. So the good news is that you don't have to be born a natural, like, the way I thought before. We can all learn it, and we can create that kind of mindset shift for our own enhancement and, of course, for the enhancement of our business. Even after years of working for someone else, you can acquire that kind of mindset if you choose to, and, of course, if you have the determination. Anyone can come up with a brilliant idea, but building a successful building around that idea, that is the real challenge. Now that we're all on the same page when it comes to what is the exact meaning of an entrepreneurial mindset, I wanted to take you through the attributes that tend to tip the scales when it comes to building a business. And those attributes are part of that mindset. So this is what this episode is all about. And the reason why I wanted to talk about these attributes is because by understanding them, we understand what makes the mindset what it is. And as I said, I am consciously working on nurturing and exercising my own mindset every single day. You might find some of those attributes really easy to learn, and some of them might be not so much. So that's okay. No one is perfect at all attributes, and this is why this mindset shift will always be a work in progress. And as you grow and as your business flourishes, the more you become mindful of how you think about certain things that come your way while you're building your business. So let's start with the list of some of those attributes that exist in an entrepreneurial mindset. And the first attribute is positive attitude. Now, this might sound simple and obvious, and I'm a positive person myself by nature, but I am also an overthinker, and I tend to overthink things that can actually make me become paralyzed to moving forward. So just the same, negative thoughts paralyze forward movement and paralyzes growth. So when I say cultivate a positive mindset, I don't mean like to be totally out there and you stick your head in the sand and you ignore everything that could go wrong. What I really mean is that it is to learn how to mentally reframe our responses towards certain things that could go wrong in our business. And the aim of that is to start looking at challenges as a way to improve and to learn and hopefully grow. The second attribute is the creative streak. And now, regardless if you are in a creative business or not, there's always room for creative ways in a business. So being creative is not a monopoly that's owned by creative people or people in the art business. A person in finance can creatively find a solution to a problem, or can find a creative approach to solving a financial problem. So one of the benefits of being your own boss in your own business is that you get to express your creativity every single day. You get to express that creativity by trying out creative tactics to better your business and to make the necessary changes in creative ways to, let's say, cut expenses, stretch budgets. Remember, it all starts with the way that you look at things. The third attribute is being persuasive. I know that the word persuasive can sometimes feel like it's a synonym to people in sales, and granted, it is a skill that can be learned with practice. My personal take on that is on working on my persuasive tactics is that I always go back to my why. Why am I building what I'm building? What is my end goal here? At the end of the day, we are not working on a hobby. We're working to create a viable business for us, for us to build something that is meaningful to us. And to do so, we need to work on our negotiation skills so we can sell better, we can get better prices, cut down costs, motivate our team and our suppliers, make sure that everybody on our side is seeing our vision. The fourth attribute is self-motivation. Now, just like building your persuasive muscle, keeping ourselves motivated is another muscle that we need to exercise. And to be honest, you will have parts of your business that you do not enjoy. And this is especially true in the beginning of your journey when you're wearing so many hats in your business. It could be bookkeeping, for example. It could be admin work. And that's where knowing those weaknesses really well and cultivating that mindset that helps you to see the mundane as part of the whole body of the business. And that's why it is important. So self-motivation also comes from focusing on that end game. Celebrate the small wins because they are getting you closer to the big wins that you're working really hard to attain. The fifth attribute is curiosity to learn. Now, this is an attribute that is not only part of the entrepreneurial mindset, but I personally think it should be an attribute to anyone who wants to focus on personal growth in general. Because curiosity to learn doesn't have to be only in the field of your expertise, but should be also be in the details that will help you to build your business. Like, for example, when you're just starting out, if you need to build that curiosity to learn, especially when it comes to, let's say, the tech requirements to build your digital portfolio, and that will help you to build your business website. So the great thing about curiosity to learn is that, thanks to books, to Google, to YouTube, digital courses, almost anything that can help you build your business, you can learn it. And there are so many resources out there. And I just want to add another thing about this point that I learned to do, and I spoke about in the intro. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I mean, what do you have to lose? The sixth one is decisiveness. Now, last week, I had an Instagram live, and one of the points that I was talking about was actually this point. I was talking about the importance of not to lose momentum in your business by paralyzing it due to difficulty in taking decisions. The only way to move forward is to take decisions. And for that to happen, when an issue comes along, is to look at all the data, all the information that is available in hand, assess any choices that you have, pick one and move forward. This is the best decision that you can take at this time with the available data or information. And ease in taking decisions means that you gain the ability to look at a problem or a situation, digest the data or the information that is available at that point, and make a confident decision to move forward. You will always have time to change, to tweak the details in that decision. But the great thing is that you don't stop the momentum of moving forward. Seventh is to be accountable. This is very simple. Whether you succeed or you fail, it is your responsibility. And that's the mindset that you should have when you're creating a business. And I know it sounds extreme, but there are so many things that in your business that is in your own control. Everything that is in your control, you should be accountable for, whether it succeeds or it fails. By looking at your work this way, the attitude that you bring to the table changes, and any kind of passive behavior switches. So accountability also makes you take yourself and your business much more seriously, and it also helps you work on your doubts, on your fears, and overwhelm. The eighth is willingness to experiment. And here I really invite you to drop the fear around experimentation. test your pricing strategy, or approach a project through a new or a different angle, or use new marketing methods. Because it's only by experimenting and comparing your notes, you give yourself the chance to find out if the ideas that were in your mind actually hold water and if they really enhance the performance of your business. If you're an overthinker like me, then I suggest what I do is that I calculate all the risk, I take all the necessary measures that, will give me the confidence to experiment. Finally, I'd like to talk about humility. And this is one of the attributes. And honestly, it's one of my favorite attributes because this particular attribute served me well, and it kind of ties all the other attributes together. Because by knowing humility, you know that your ego or your pride or your arrogance has nothing to do with the performance of your business or with you as a business owner who wants to build something meaningful. It makes you open to being coached or mentored. Things that got you so far might not be enough to get you to the next step. That is what I always told myself. And the reason why connecting with mentors and coaches have been a great benefit for me, because I have the willingness to learn and to nourish a growth mindset. And I learned that to accomplish big things, I need to grow. And for me to grow, I need to learn. And the best and easiest and fastest way to learn is to ask someone who has done it and successfully done it before you, and take mentorship from them. And this is where humility comes in, because it makes you accept to get guidance. Now, I hope when you think about these attributes, you think about them with an open mind, and you think about them from the angle of growth and wanting to get your vision out there and share your genius by building your business. The biggest killer of this mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset, is not what you would expect in a business, like business failure or economy or bad ideas. The biggest killer is doubt in ourselves, in our surrounding, and in our abilities. Self-doubt kills dreams even before any external factor can come into play. This is where learning is important. Learn to master your inner game, because most people are afraid to start pursuing their dreams. And if they do, they stop at the first signs of a challenge. And this is why your thinking is so important to get it right in the beginning. I told you at the start of this episode, it's a trial and error thing for me. And I'm still learning, and I do every single day. And I hope you start to. And that brings us to the end of this episode. I really hope that I've given you, something to think about and something interesting to start working on. As always, I'd love to hear what you think. So let's start the discussion in the comments section in my show notes. It's renamawad.com/12. Or better enough, leave me a review, maybe a 5-star if you think I deserve it. And let's connect over social. My Instagram handle is @rana.mawad. Thank you once again for tuning in. I'm really happy that you're here, and I can't wait to touch base with you again next week with another episode. Till then, have a great week and take care.